the enablers, the enablers, the enablers. I'm on a bit of a tear on the enablers these days. With each passing day, well, I definitely obviously see that narcissism is a core issue in our world, and I see how much people are struggling with this. Part of what gives the narcissistic people their power is the enablers. The people who, for reasons in themselves that are both selfish and naive, ignorant and hopeful, choose or simply can't see the narcissism in their midst. The enablers are often more harmful with their gaslighting. Once you understand narcissism, it makes sense. You see their charm and charisma, their shape-shifting and their lies, their betrayal and their blame-shifting. It's clear, and you see it. The enablers, though, are a whole other story because they take so many forms. And we have videos on this channel talking about all the different kinds of enablers and enabling. I mean, we know that some are naive Pollyannas. Some of them are sort of in collusion with the narcissistic person. They get benefits from the narcissistic person, such as money or some other forms of support. Some enablers just want to preserve something bigger. They're wedded to the idea of family or marriage or something, and they don't want to see anything that interferes with that vision. To see or believe or accept your version of events through the lens of narcissism means dismantling their version of the world. So it's easier to write off the person who's being abused by the narcissist as being the problem or being too sensitive or being too dramatic. Then the enabler gets to preserve their worldview. That's cognitive dissonance at play. They throw you under the bus so they can keep reviewing the world the way they want. But there's another way this plays out, when we enable the enablers. And sometimes we view the enablers, the people who don't get it, who think you're being too harsh when you say you're going no contact, for example, with a family member, or you're getting a divorce after 40 years, or you refuse to attend a family wedding and engage with a toxic sibling, or stop spending time with a friend group because of one friend's invalidating and manipulative behavior. We view some of these enablers as kind and nice. So we may think this enabler, who we have known for a long time and who is kind, oh, she's so sweet and she believes in family. Oh, he's such a kind, great guy. It's hard for him to think that people are toxic. Or she's so nice. He's so kind. They're so sweet. It's not in their nature to see this. You know what, folks? Fuck that. When a person can't hear that someone is suffering in a toxic relationship and writes revisionist BS around it. Family is important. Family first. Marriage is forever. Give him, give her, give them another chance. You only have one family. You only have one mother. That's not kind. This is difficult when the person engaging in this enabling actually is a nice, kind person. This is why enabling can be so confusing. When the enabler actually is sweet and nice and doesn't have a harsh word for anyone and is deeply empathic and sweet and compassionate and all that good stuff, and you've seen it and you know it, it may in some ways be experienced by us as the harshest form of enabling of all. And we may start to believe that they are indeed too kind or sweet or nice, and that is why they don't see it. Because this is a mind F. I gotta stop cursing. We see a kind and sweet person who is questioning a painful decision or awareness that we are coming to, that a longtime spouse or partner or family member or friend is narcissistic, and that we may have to step away from the relationship. And so we again then step back and wonder if we're the ones who are being excessive. Nobody comes to the decision to step away from a narcissistic relationship lightly. These relationships are confusing by definition. These are charming, charismatic, sympathetic at times, confusingly empathic at others, sometimes nice, often manipulative, always self-serving people. And we get confused. We read and hear things on the news about people who are physically assaulted and abused by family members, by partners, and we may think, well, that's not what I'm going through. I'm just living with someone where it is unpredictable. And I feel like I'm not enough. And maybe that's a me thing. And even if it levels up, the spouse cheats, the parents betray your trust, the family member takes your money or takes advantage of you, you may still get confused by the mix of emotions and behavior that they show. So, when someone whom you value as kind and nice and sweet and solid says, you only have one mom, or do you want to do this to your kids, or there's always a way to work things out, give them a chance, it kind of takes our trauma bond and encases it in cement. If our sweet friend sees it this way, maybe we're wrong. I do not for a minute buy that a person cannot see narcissism clearly and also be kind. I think you can be kind and simultaneously get it. In fact, most of you who have weathered long-term narcissistic relationships and had to take some drastic actions are some of the kindest people out there. You put up with so much, and many of you never played dirty. You never let the narcissistic person really have it, and you still showed up like a decent human being. Seeing something clearly doesn't make you unkind. It makes you wise. And frankly, it makes you more compassionate. Because the ultimate measure of kindness is to be in the uncomfortable position of being able to remain witness to another person's pain and to not judge it, but just be with it. Honestly, it's easy to be kind if you have the luxury of walking around in a world where ideals like family is good, or maybe your life wasn't harmed by narcissism. I'd be a damned saint too under those circumstances. But that's not how life works. And every so often I meet that unicorn of a person who says that, no, I never really had any major narcissistic people in their lives, at which point I do look at them suspiciously and wonder, is it them? But the idea that some people just don't get it because they're kind or sweet or nice, I'm not buying it. You cannot live in the world the way it is now and not get it. And if you don't get it, you are putting yourself and other people at risk. Getting it means protecting yourself. It means understanding the dynamics. It means not getting pulled into the toxic dance, not sharing too much of yourself, not blaming yourself, not getting snowed by qualities like confidence and smarts or financial success, which make us think a person is good. Which actually those qualities don't mean a person is good. It means that they're smart or successful. Getting it is empathic. It may not have happened to you, or it did and you choose not to see it, but getting it means then that you can be there for others in a non-judgmental way. I'm happy for people with happy families and marriages. Great, go enjoy them. But it is not kind if you don't understand it and then you second guess the agonizing decisions that someone who has gone through a narcissistic relationship has to grapple with. Just because you didn't or don't want to see it, or you want to maintain some sort of idealized, utopic, unsullied vision of the world. Is it really kindness if a person can witness your pain and second guess it? Not really. And because a sweet person does this, we may doubt ourselves and dig deeper into the sense that we are the bad ones. After all, the sweet person is saying that we should give the narcissistic person another chance, and love is great. So maybe we're the devilish person for wanting to go no contact and never look back. You aren't the devilish person. In fact, your desire to potentially go no contact or distance from a narcissistic person, or maybe even never interact with them again, is self-kindness. And frankly, it's often clear-headed sanity. It's not a choice. Going no contact, for example, is not a choice all of us can make. But many a kind friend may even look at you sideways for even suggesting that dear old dad or your bossy sister is narcissistic or toxic. So let's stop doing the enabler's dirty work for them. They may choose not to see what is going on, but we don't need to let them magnify our self-doubt. The enablers are the jet fuel for the narcissistic people. They are their armies of flying monkeys and manipulators, and yes, sometimes they are nice people. Until they enable. And then, they are part of the problem. And despite all of that kindness, they may be bad for your health. Thanks again.